Dang it, Bobby. What are you doing on the Cold Cuts Patreon again? I don't care that for only $5 you can listen to the rest of this episode uncut, as well as access to the entirety of the backlog of Patreon recorded episodes. And access to the Patreon-only Discord server. I told you to stop fooling around on that computer, boy, after you got groomed by that man. Harris Fishberg or Fishstein something? Boy, get off. Get gone, go.
Yeah, wait a minute. You're cracking the whip to start recording, and you were drawing the past 10 minutes.
That's in the past. I live in the moment.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have requested it. The return.
Have they?
Yeah, actually, you were a really widely requested return.
Okay, awesome.
Guest.
Hey,
Just yesterday,
Even yesterday,
Knackles was like, "Can you get FrankJavCee back on? He liked that picture of you that I drew." Which, by the way, I showed my parents that beautiful picture Knackles drew, and my mom was mad.
The gerbil.
She
Why?
was mad about it. She was like, "The face looks okay, but you can tell you need to lose weight by the way they do their body." And I was like, "I'm working on it, bitch. I've been in the pool, dude. I swam so hard yesterday that like." I did get a little drunk, but I have just been in and out of sleep since 6 or 7 p.m. last night, and like just now, which I think
you have
just
a pool.
Woke up to. I don't have a pool, but there because I pay taxes here, I'm allowed to go to the little high school and kick the high school kids out and swim. Yeah, I swim at the high school.
Okay, that's cool. My first autistic obsession was swimming pools. So when I had internet access, the first thing I'd look up was like every single swimming pool that ever existed. So like,
no way.
It links to my inflation fetish. So like, I would see the inflatable ones, then I'd see the ones like in the ground ones, and then I would see like, I don't know. It's just like there were so many like swimming pool websites back in the early 2000s. It was crazy.
Wow.
Do you have an inflation fetish?
Yeah. Have you not noticed this? Like this economy got me bricked the fuck up.
I thought it was like I thought you were memeing because
that's what I hate. I hate when people are like, "Why do you joke about this all the time? Are you just joking?" It's like half of it's serious. Half of it's
exactly.
You got us that inflation picture of Brian for the cover of one episode very quickly.
Yeah, because I have them all favorited. What am I supposed to do? Not save them?
Is so good. One of my favorite cold cuts moments that we did was when we were like clicking around on DeviantArt and we found this really remote DeviantArt page that was from Germany, that all of it was, they only had like 2 followers and it was all inflation stuff, but the way that they rendered the images was just so jarring. It was like in Blender.
You remember that game you'd play, My Buddy, and you'd blow up that big gray ball guy? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
That was interactive like buddy.
They made the body proportions like that, like the
arts crazy.
Were like circles too. It was,
but if you remember correctly, it was a POV, and it was somebody's foot, like sock, being like pressed against, and it was like them being inflated by the smell of the sock. It was just
I love artists. Image. Like, you ever notice only artists do that? Like they have that distinct thing where they're like, I need to make this real. I need to visualize it. I need to create it.
Yeah, it's so true. Well, I just had a really interesting conversation with my girlfriend's uncle. Not through blood, but he's married into the family, so he's whitey. But he's an engineer, and we were having an interesting conversation where he was like, artists are so interesting to me because like there's a relationship between artists and engineers that's so important, and nobody wants to address it because engineers and artists have this like ongoing battle. But it's basically like if you look at like the Star Trek, like the phones that they were using in Star Trek back in like, I don't know, what was it, the 60s or 70s, and then like years later engineers were like, okay, how do we make that an actual thing? And then they like built it, and I think it inspired what the like cell phone looks like today. And he's like, that's what we need. Like, you need like artists making something, and then engineers making it happen. Where are the engineers for the inflation DeviantArt?
They're out there. They definitely know what PSI is. They know like the right nozzles to insert into your anus, and like how much the human bowel system can like hold that. There's a couple people out there on like Pornhub that they like shove it in there, they inflate their stomachs, and then they fart it all out, and it's like a 30-minute long video.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Maybe it wasn't fake, but I know in the the Bruno movie. He's dating that little Filipino guy, and then they shake a champagne bottle and like insert it into his ass, and then kind of I think squirt the champagne. Harris knows what I'm talking about. He's seen this.
Everyone's done it at least once. There's like, if you could imagine it, it's happened in the world at least once.
Oh, 100% it's happened. Yeah. You know what? I don't. Oh, go ahead.
The point you made about like engineering and artistry is like, I think like whatever art form you choose, there is this kind of like mechanical kind of way to do it. Like, you know, ratios are very mathematical. So it's like when I make music and mix and stuff, I always use math, and I always use like, you know, perfect fourths or fifths or like harmony so that it's all balanced. And I do think there's like a beauty in mathematic when it comes to just like any type of art you're doing.
Well, I knew you were a genius when you were showing me how to use FL Studio. You were kind of giving me a walkthrough. Remember that? Like that was like over a year ago now, which helped me immensely. But I remember when you were showing me when you're making a track, you like to look at like the wavelength or the visualizer thing that shows up on the screen, and you're kind of like breaking down for me. It's like, yeah, like here's, you know, this is what these notes are making this pattern. I like to and I was looking at it and I was like, this is fascinating, but I have no idea what this dude's talking about. And like just that, like the visual part, I like couldn't understand the.
You know, do you know what the occipital lobe of the brain is?
No.
So it's the back part of your brain, and that's how we perceive vision. As a child, I would constantly hit the back of my head, so like that's why I think I view reality warped as everyone else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you view reality warped?
I guess because I always injured the back of my head, and that's like a very crucial part for like the way you perceive shit.
Just doing it over and over again.
It's crazy the stories you hear. Like I remember there was a famous one where some guy, I forget if he had an anger issue before or if he developed one after, but somehow like a railroad spike hit.
Yeah, it went through his head.
Yes.
And then he was like loopsy forever.
And then there's also those like, someone should study these because in my head they can't be true, but like someone will hit their head and all of a sudden they can play piano or
they got struck by lightning
or speak Chinese or something.
They have a Chinese accent forever.
Yeah, and it's like, dude,
that's awesome.
The world is full of magic if you can.
It really is.
That or they're just lying.
There should be a superhero origin story that's like you get a spike through your head, but then it like gives you powers, but like you still have a giant spike in your head. That's actually like would be kind of badass if there was a superhero. Although it would be really hard to have a secret identity because you just permanently giant spike.
Dude, what if you just wore like a KKK hat? Because those are like so.
Oh, no one ever suspects that the KKK is actually the secret identity of a superhero. That's really living a double life. I was gonna say I don't even think I properly finished the introduction, but we have FrankJavCee on the podcast.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, hey, you're good.
It's been way too long since we've had you on last time, but you have mixed a song for us. That was
last September.
Crushed that, bro.
And we're gonna do more recently. Also, y'all need to get on distributing services so you can have your music up there and you get a penny every time someone listens to you.
That would be very big.
We need to do that 100%. Dude, I don't know if I've told you this, but there's been at least 3 or 4 different trans women I've met through Grindr, and then I go to follow them on Insta, and you guys follow each other, and I'm like, "Yo, this guy's everywhere." Well, usually they're everywhere. It's with chicks who are musically inclined, so I guess that kind of makes sense because you're kind of a big deal in the music industry.
You know what's funny is like I'll go to like underground raves. Like I went to this clown girl rave, and there was a lot of trans girls there, and just a lot of like feminine energy in general. And I felt like I was one of the only hims there. And I showed up and they were like, Frank, oh my God. And they'd come up to me and they'd be like, I've been watching you since middle school. And I was like, cool, hi. The nitrous oxide balloons. They're like, oh, it's over there. And I'm like, cool. And then I do a balloon and then I'm just like,
dude, I mean, a few years ago, or not even a few years ago, a few months ago, I feel like, didn't you just get a shout out from Anthony Fantano? Like somebody brought.
Yeah, we're like old school homies. I remember when I first started YouTube, he had like maybe 100K subs, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's so big.
Yeah.
So in my video, I use like a picture of him, and he like followed me back. He's like, do you want to collab? Like it was like instantly, like it was like literally in a week. So I did a video called like how to review an album, and he came out in it, and then we would just go back and forth for a long time. And then we met up at VidCon. VidCon was an interesting time. It was like 2017, and like the Paul brothers were blowing up, so like they were like surrounded by like hundreds of like little children, and they're just
the Paul brothers.
Oh, Paul brothers.
That is
must
crazy.
have been crazy. Yeah, what the hell, dude? Have you ever thought of because I know he doesn't like referencing the Sam Hyde diss track, but have you ever thought of getting him in the FrankJavCee studio and?
Well, we actually have done music together. We did a song with a 3Pac who sadly passed away right before it came out.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. So it's like me, Caltrick Testa, 3Pac on like a track, and I'm like, I forget what I said. It was like 2015, 16 era. So I'm like, I don't listen to the haters, let it go like Frozen. And that's my big bar.
That's dude, pretty based.
That's
yeah, and it's funny, Anthony. I know he was just embroiled in some drama like recently over the Kanye
He's always
West
going through
review.
something. He's one of the best smelling men I've ever smelled in my life.
Really?
That's like one of the things that I noticed.
Like he smells good. He looks
so he's like vegan. Like everything about him is just like he's like the only living God I've ever met. Where it's like, oh wow, you really are about that life. Like he doesn't do any drugs, doesn't drink, very straight edge. So I'm like, wonder that's like to be 100% like like conscious all the time.
Dude, he seems so like the way I wouldn't have been able to do this, bro. But the way that this man got a cringe DM from Drake, but then was like, I'm gonna make Drake reveal the cringe DM. So then pretended that Drake sent him a cookie recipe, a vegan cookie recipe.
That was
literally,
so
if you read it, it's written so frugally because there's a part that's like, it says to use coarse salt, but I never do. Who cares? Or something. And I was like, it seems like Drake did write this. But, but then, he made Drake come out and reveal it, which, dude,
hilarious.
I give you a light one, and only because you wifed up a black woman. I was like, Drake, you are so cringe.
Like, it's funny. Shit. I feel like Fantano has a really good way of, like, navigating things. He never strikes me as a guy who's in his feelings. Like even when he's like under fire or people are shitting on him, and I think also being a critic, we see this with YMS too. I think just being a career critic is like, and this is before the internet. This is just as long as being a critic has been a thing. You're just like your career is like built on like stepping on people's toes, kind of. Even though I think I actually like both of those guys, their content, but it definitely takes a certain type of person to be a career critic because you know that you're gonna hurt some feelings. And
what's funny is he's never reviewed any of my music because I think deep down he thinks I'm cringe musically.
Oh, what?
No,
I don't think that.
Your mic's getting a little warbly.
Yeah, Frank, I think something's going on with your microphone there. I wasn't sure if it was just on my end, but
if I disconnect and connect, let's see, hold on.
Dude, Fantano is hacking us right now.
I think he's counter hacking us right now.
He's counter hacking us.
Frank is gone, but
bro, are you reffing a junior high basketball game later? What's with the shirt?
Oh, me?
I like black or blue?
No, it's blue.
Oh, that is fresh then. On my camera, it looks black.
I like this shirt. Angie also does not like this shirt, but I was like, I think it's fresh.
You know what would go base with that shirt? Not tweed, not twill. What's it like old Cuban guys wear on the beach? Those white linen.
Like linen?
White linen pants would go so hard with that
so
shirt.
Hard. That would be pretty fresh. Maybe I think I have a pair of pants like that. I could probably put a fit on. Oh, cannot hear you at all now, Frank. You're completely silent. Not pog. Not poggers.
Not poggers.
Should we riff? Waiting.
Perhaps. Is he gonna test?
Test? Technical difficulties.
Bro, I can't. I want Frank to help me mix another song, but
I just
I
think
is too crazy, bro.
I just think that being mean, I think you want it to be your brand, but it's just not you, man. It's just not gonna.
You're not that guy.
You're just not that guy. It's
check.
Now I can hear you.
Okay, there we go. Is it better or is it the same?
Yeah, it's better.
I think it's better. It was getting really warbly there.
Yeah, it's I got this focus right. I should get something else. I think there's like this Studio One thing. I don't know. It's been giving me issues ever since I dropped it.
Is that why?
No, that could be it. I mean,
that probably has a problem in there.
We need to
but
get.
you sound fine now.
Harris, you need to get a better mic, Doug.
Yeah, I'm way.
What do you have? I have
that.
the SM7B, but that's just because Michael Jackson recorded it.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah,
dude. You want to know my fun Michael Jackson fact that I've said on like 3 episodes already, but I just think it's interesting. Yeah. No, not the Sonic one. That Sonic one, everybody in your mother knows that. Saying. Okay. I found this out not even by reading about Michael Jackson, but you know how after you do you guys do this too? After you watch a movie, you go to the Wikipedia page and read the production credits because I like I like reading about like how it came to fruition. I had just watched the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the one with Johnny Depp, which not to maybe our listeners have already heard this story. So the short version of it is that even though that movie, I don't know if you remember when it came out, I feel like the general public was like, this is weird, this is creepy, this is not what this is not what the story is about. Like, I feel like it was getting shitted on. Actually, joke's on you, that was the version of the movie that was approved by Roald Dahl's estate. And actually the movie had remained in like development hell for like 20 years because Roald Dahl was really disappointed with the Gene Wilder version of the movie because he said it was too kid friendly. He thought that they removed all of the sort of dark humor from the book. Even though it's for kids, he thought they made it too sweet and that it lost its edge. So he passed away, and then his wife and daughter were in charge of his estate, and they were like really rigid about who was allowed to direct and star in the movie. And before they landed on Johnny Depp and Tim Burton directing, they were still hunting around, and word got to Michael Jackson that they were looking for someone to play Willy Wonka, and he sent basically a package to Warner Brothers that was like, you need to give me, I want to play Willy Wonka in this movie. Please let me play Willy Wonka. And to sweeten the deal, here's like 7 tracks that I wrote for the soundtrack of the movie that you can use in the thing. And the studio were like, Michael was already in court over child molestation charges. So like it was dead on arrival. And so people like they were like, Michael, you can't play this part. We're not going to let you do it. But the music that he sent over, they like flipped their shit over, and they were like, this is amazing. We can't let you play Willy Wonka, but please, can we use this music in the movie? And he was so pissed that they said no to him for Willy Wonka. He shelved it, never to be heard again. It's like locked up in a vault somewhere. How crazy is that? No one ever heard it outside of that Warner Brothers room.
I can't imagine it. Well, dude, I'm a Michael Jackson hater, bro. I think all of his music is overrated. I fucking hate Thriller. I hate, dude. When Thriller comes on,
don't you have a heart?
Maybe it's a different.
Thriller's amazing.
There's a certain song that comes on that sounds just like "Walk Like an Egyptian," and I get so pissed when it's not "Walk Like an Egyptian." I think that's the main reason I hate Michael Jackson. But dude, there's no way the Willy Wonka Jackson music sounded good.
I bet
it must have been crazy.
Like, I bet it was pretty good. I mean, like he is a prodigious songwriter. Although I think I actually heard him like I think I saw it in like the H Bomber Guy video, the Roblox oof one, that he was talking about how that Sonic music that people talk about that Michael Jackson wrote, that it was like later revealed, was actually not even really written by Michael. It was written by his like team of producers. So like it's like he was given credit for it, but it actually was like an unnamed nobody producer that was like working for Michael. I guess you're not a nobody producer, but like uncredited, which is
it's funny you bring up Michael Jackson because I've recently read his autobiography. He released an autobiography in 1989. Yeah. So it's just basically like through his childhood and stuff. And I was reading up on his childhood, and like when he was like 8, he used to just go to the club and sing. So we see like a lot of debaucherous things. And then when they blew up, like there would just be little girls like chasing them wherever they went. So it was like really interesting. And then like his dad would sometimes bring like girls over and be like, hey, and then he'd be like, I'm 11. And then,
that's crazy. That's crazy. His childhood was so fucked up, man. I like his whole life is fucked up. Have you ever seen that? There's actually a really funny interview with him where they're like interviewing him, and he's talking about touring, and he's like, I hate to tour. I really don't like it. Like I hate doing it. I hate going on tour. And they're like, Michael, can you like don't you think that's a little negative? Can you think of something nice that you could say about it? And he's like, I really don't like it. And they're like, just for the video, can you say something like that you like about touring? And he's like, I love to tour. Like he's just like like he just completely changes his thing. It's so funny. And then everybody starts laughing in the video because they're just like, but it's like he definitely like I really think he hated his life for like a while. That's why towards the end of it he was like, what did he OD on? I know he was like an alcoholic towards the end too.
I thought it was
sleeping pills
or something. Or well, no, because he had someone was injecting him with something. I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't think he was being injected. I think it's that his doctor was writing him too high dosages, which I think then his doctor is in prison now because I think Michael was like, why don't you up my dose a little, doc? And he was like, I can't do that, Michael. And he's like, for me. And he's like, okay. And he like gave him like more. He killed him basically. He gave him like more than was.
I recently found a psychic woman on YouTube that apparently communicates with only celebrity ghosts. And in one of them, she communicated with Michael Jackson, where he tells her that the Illuminati is what turned him into a pedophile. He was just a homosexual.
What the hell?
Interesting.
That's
is
a
this
theory.
like the female version of that J Station guy?
Oh, I don't know, but probably.
Oh, yeah. I know. I remember that guy. What happened to that guy's videos?
He got ran off the internet. He was this guy, Frank, that would like a celebrity would die, and then the next day he'd be like, communicating with Tupac at 4:20 a.m. like on for like the
I think I see that. It was like Execs
awesome.
and Little Peep and like any rapper that died, he's calling them, and he's
literally like, dude, this is so distinct.
Yeah, all of those. What's funny about that though is it really just makes you like. I mean, we already knew this, but it's just so funny how stupid kids are. That like kids will just watch that shit and be like, no way, no way.
Dude,
I would hate to come back as a ghost. That means there's an afterlife. I would hate that.
Does it mean there's an afterlife? Well, if is heaven and hell in the equation or no? You're just like back on Earth.
You're just like a ghost, and like you would get random teenagers on like YouTube to like contact you, and you'd have to do an interview with them even after you're dead.
Yeah, the idea of being a ghost just seems really boring to me, and like anything that has to do with like your soul will be here for eternity. Even the idea of hell. It's not even like the burning part that's terrible about hell to me. I'm like, dude, forever? Like that would just be so.
Well,
I would be turning up.
That's the point.
That would suck. Like that would suck. Like if hell was like you lit on fire for like an hour, like that would be terrible. That would be terrible. I'd be like, wow, I'm definitely not gonna sin. But the idea that it's like you're on fire and it's forever, I'm like. There has to be a point where you don't care anymore, where you're just like, man.
It's just
you get used to
the equivalent of a Monday or whatever.
It's like, fuck this.
You may have told me this, but do Jews believe in heaven and hell or no?
I don't think they believe in hell. I don't
That's
even know.
Crazy.
I don't actually know, honestly. Dude, let me look it up.
I love that.
I've heard that they don't.
Have you seen that Far Side comic of everyone's like on fire in hell and pushing wheelbarrows of mud and shit, but then there's one guy doing it and he's just like whistling happily, and then the other demons are just like, we're just not getting through to this guy.
Yeah, I love that one, dude.
I love Farsight. I had like their compilation book.
Me too,
yeah,
bro. I
just
raided an abandoned house and got like 8 full collections. Check this out. I got way more of them, but like, dude.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I had. Yeah.
Books. So
it's a great compilation.
I love Farsight.
Okay, I looked it up. If you're curious, viewers at home, do Jews believe in hell? They do believe in a type of hell, but the actual, like, hell is not a punishment in the conventional sense. It is, in fact, the expression of a great kindness. And the word Gehinnom, which is usually translated as hell, but a better translation would be supernal washing machine, because what happens is that apparently it's not an eternity thing. It's just that, like, if you're bad, I guess, in the life, before you go to heaven, your soul goes through a cleansing cycle, which is kind of like hell, and then they send you to heaven.
Bro,
So
Good
anyway,
job.
you guys,
I didn't even know that until
it's
just
all
now.
loopholes. Your whole
It's all
religion is
loopholes.
just
It's all
loopholes and
loopholes.
bartering and like, even if you're bad, you go through the washing machine, then you can go straight to heaven. It's totally
But
okay.
it's just it's stupid, the whole thing. I don't know. But is
I
there
bet
a
that feels
bat?
good on the soul. Just going
I
through
bet
the
it
dryer.
for like a hot second. Yeah. The is there a bat on the wall behind you, Zach? What is that thing?
What?
There's
You
a
see that?
bat
A
by the
bat?
fish.
What is that? Next to
Oh
the
yeah,
door.
yeah. So that's Baby Batman, bro.
Baby Batman?
Baby Bat. No, it's a key holder.
Oh, I like it though.
Cool.
It's cool. I like the
My
bat
My
design.
dad found it at an antique shop and brought it over.
Oh, Frank, by the way, I gotta thank you, man. I don't know if it was directly, but you put me in touch with Ben Beal, and then I just
Oh yeah.
designed a tour poster for him
Oh yeah, I
like
saw
not too
that.
long ago. Yeah, it was really fun. He's a really cool guy.
He saved
Uh,
my music. Did I? Oh, we haven't talked about that. I haven't even talked about this publicly, but someone tried to steal like all my music.
What do you
what?
mean?
So they pretended to be me and like put it on a different distribution software, but they were saying that they actually own the rights to all my music in Italy. And they use Ben Beal's distribution service because he
Uh-huh.
works for Two Lost. So they tried to do it through his distribution software, saying it was me. But then I was like, that's not me. So because of him, he got that guy banned and like gave me all my music back. But for like the month
Whoa.
of February, all my music was just taken down because someone was pretending like it was like identity
That's
theft almost.
crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I remember you messaging that to messaging me about that. Like,
Yeah, we
well, but
talked about it
I think it
briefly.
was
Yeah.
ongoing on. Like, I don't
Yeah,
think
it
there
was
was the
happening during that
resolution.
time.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad you solved it, bro, because
Yeah,
that's
so I was just like, that's not
crazy.
me. And then like the thing I hated was like my current distribution person I was using at the time for the Simpson Wave, like my big song that blew up. They're like,
Mhm.
well, we have to wait like 2-3 weeks to see if what the other person has to say. Cause I got a lawyer, filed like a counterclaim and did all this stuff. And then like the other person, like they obviously, cause like it's all me. It was like 100% original me. So like they couldn't do anything. And we had to wait like 3 weeks and the music was just gone. And then after it came back, they're like, all right, you could have your music back. But like apparently like it lowered it by like 75%. So I was like really
Jesus.
bummed out for that time. Like I was freaking out. I didn't want to tell anyone. Like normally when like life gives me L's, I don't tell the internet because like people will be like LOL XD.
Yeah,
Like that's what I've learned.
Yeah, it's usually not proper form to complain about an ongoing situation on the internet unless
dude, that's
like
when I broke up with the my trans ex after all the shit so many people on the internet gave me about it. I was like, this will not be revealed until months later.
yeah,
There is no way, dude. Because dude, people are ruthless, dog.
They are because
they're
like
totally ruthless.
when
dog.
you're known on the internet, it's like you only see like the people that like you, but like there's like this shadow layer of haters that are just waiting for you to
Oh, waiting for you to fall off. And also I think, and it's funny because I actually do relate to this in some way. I think that there's a lot of people, myself kind of included, who just hates people because they're internet famous. You know what I mean? Like it's really easy to look at somebody who's famous on the internet and just be like, get a job. And then
get a
like
job.
and so then when something bad happens to them, you're kind of like, good.
Yeah, that's just like name of the game,
It's just
I try
funny,
not to think like that. If I find someone like that, I'll just quietly mute them so I don't have to say
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I've
That's
been
the move.
spamming the mute button. There's
That
people I
is a move.
follow that like a week into following them, I'm like, I'm gonna mute
Yeah.
this person and never think of them.
I
ever
know,
again.
yeah. There are people who oh my God, I have a funny one, honestly. I don't even care about saying this out loud because who gives a shit? But I remember like, dude, like a year ago, I got followed by Brianna Wu. And I remember being like, who is this? Because I was not like engaged on the internet during the time that she like rose to celebrity. And I gave her a follow back just out of just like, oh, this famous person followed me. And I want to say after like a week, I had her muted because I was just like, dude, she tweets too much and it's all like just bait, like bait. And now it's like since then she's gone through, talk about this fucking Jewish hell washing machine. I feel like she's been like purged like several times through the internet hate machine for her own undoing, just like talking. People just be yapping, bro.
Yapping,
Like,
yeah, they're all
yapping.
Yeah.
Keep the yapping
away.
to a minimum. But anyway,
You ever
that shit
yap
was
your
funny.
career away?
Dude,
I'm
it's funny
gonna.
how many people do that. It's like way too many people do that.
Dude, I'm gonna drop this rap beef diss track and just destroy any chance I have. Yap beef.
Yap it away.
I'm gonna yap it away, dog.
Send it to me. I'm actually curious. Like, I don't know what's going on.
It's too, dog. It's just like
it's actually not that mean. I'm pretty sure you drop
like
an F slur.
Mean, bro. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of mean.
You can get away with that. I love the new slurs that are coming back in. Like, we couldn't say a lot of words for like 5 years, and now they're all coming back.
It seems like it's creeping back in.
Baby.
It's back.
I haven't stopped saying it, dude. I have to go on a retard rant right now. Okay,
okay, go ahead.
The people who are like, that word's offensive to me. It's like, dude, if I was using it in the context of it actually being a slur, a person you would call that slur. I'm not even gonna say it because it's in the context of being a slur. But it would be someone who wouldn't even understand what you're saying to them. You know what I mean? Like if you were actually that, I could call you Bruce Chinchilla and you wouldn't understand anything I'm saying. So all these people who fucking are trying to like, that's my word. I have ADHD. It's like you are a retard, but that's not your word. That's all. Like I fucking hate the discourse over this word. I'm also correct.
I think it's I don't know. I'm not like I'm certainly not somebody who's I don't make an effort to say it like in public because it's just like people don't like it. But it's like
it's also gay to be that guy that's like I'm saying it for free speech.
But it's like that's stupid too. It's not the hill that I want to die on. But it's interesting that it kind of feels like there was a soft relaunch with using gay as a derogatory, as a pejorative, and nobody really has a problem. Nobody really has a problem with it.
I feel
but it's like being like that's gay and then there was the whole like when you say gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off. That whole campaign that started in like 2006 and went out until
that one.
There was like a Hillary Duff commercial. You didn't see that one on TV?
Yes.
There was that. There was a whole campaign to stop saying gay, and it was like, okay, I mean, I don't know. Like people were still kind of saying it, but there were I don't know. And then I feel like enough time passed, and people were like, we all know, everybody collectively knows that when you say gay, pejorative, it's like it's not even really that mean. Like, is anybody like? It's hard to imagine anybody getting offended at it at this point because it's just used so frequently, and it's gay people say it, straight people say it, everybody says it, and it kind of just feels like people don't really complain about that one anymore. But like, it seems like the only example of that happening with a word where I don't really see people complaining about using gay. Like, whoa, you said gay pejorative? Like, cancel, bro. Like, nobody's saying that anymore. Even the softest of Twitter users are not saying that.
You pick and choose what you get offended at. Like, you can control
that
whether
audio
words.
is crispy.
That audio is
How
about now? How about now?
Wait,
say something.
Check. I'm talking.
Now you sound good.
That
yeah, we had like a grindcore glitch step version of like Frank for a second there, but we're good now.
Well, I was gonna say, like, you pick and choose what words affect you or not. Because like me personally, I used to be really affected by words. Like I remember when I first blew up on YouTube, like every comment that was like, I used to get essays. Like people in my comments would just write like all these things about why I was a bad musician, and I was like, wow, that hurts me. But now if I see someone putting that much effort into just like trying to get to me, I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, that is crazy. Yeah, I don't the big one that we just got, which actually, come to think of it, I don't think I've mentioned it on podcast. I had to issue an apology on 2 podcasts ago, which is funny because it actually was
don't
music.
say that we just got, that you got.
It was my fault. And it's actually the first time. It's really the first time that, and I promise it'll be the first and last time, unless I fuck up again. But basically, like, I had to recognize that something I said, it was just I misspoke, where we were talking about, we were shitting on like really fast hippity hop rap, like people who just like
lyrical, spiritual,
exactly, lyrical, spherical miracles, and like and I was listing off rappers that did that I didn't like Hobson. I don't like Immortal Technique. I don't like Tech 9. And I also said Jid. I said, like, also this guy Jid, he's one of them too. Dude, I have never seen a comment section get this like acrimonious towards us. Like people were like, bro, people were literally like, Beetle, that is like the worst take I've ever heard. And we got like between like 12 and 20 comments like that. And then I was like, am I crazy? Because I feel like this is not like a crazy opinion. And I Googled JID. And I Googled JID and I was like, wait, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. I don't know who this is. And I was like, okay, I said this guy's name, but I didn't mean him. And I was trying to figure out who it was. Dude, Joyner Lucas, another J rapper who I confused. Joyner Lucas was the one I was talking about. And he released this video, which you guys probably saw because it went super. Oh my God, he has such a horrendous album cover. I got to send it
I've seen the thumbnail.
racist one, the I'm not racist thumbnail. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Post it in the chat.
Okay,
I've definitely seen his thumbnail.
Well, he has the one where he's like, I'm not racist, and it's literally him rapping to like this fat white guy in a MAGA hat, and he's just like, yo, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But he's going like really, like he's just saying it super fast. And when it came out, I swear to God, everyone was like, yo, this is real hip hop, bro. And I was like, this is shit. This sucks. I was so bad. And that, dude, this is the funniest. Okay, why? I don't know why it's rappers that do this. Whoa. What the fuck? Are you guys still there? Oh shit. Okay, what the hell? My
we're here.
Zoom
I'm chilling.
just went away for a second. I don't know why rappers do this. Why do rappers portray themselves as babies on their album cover? I see this more in rap than I've never seen it in another. I've never seen it in another thing. This Joyner Lucas album cover, I remember seeing not as a meme, but just like, yo, new Joyner Lucas album just dropped. And it's literally just him with a photoshopped baby head on his body. This is a real album cover, not a meme. And I was like, this is a person with no taste.
What's the implication that like I've been like trapping from a young
I've been
age?
trapping since I was a baby, I guess. Is this an actual baby photo?
He still has his innocence.
This a random baby? I don't know. He's terrible, man. And it's not just the album cover. It's his shit is exactly what I was talking about. It's just that like hibbity skibbity bibbity, like, yo, we live in a society, like just horrendous rap. So anyway,
bro,
all this is to say.
You're just mad that he experiences childlike wonder. He experiences childlike wonderment. That's why.
Dude, I don't know why the rap community has a homophobic issue. Because like every time I see a rapper getting a fit off, it looks like something you would see in a gay club. Like literally 99% of the time.
Kind of bad.
Like,
this one.
It's not bad, but it's like.
They talk about the gay Illuminati in the rap community, that the rap world is controlled by the gay Illuminati. Yeah, and now it's recently coming to surface just like the P. Diddy stuff.
Wait,
dude, I was just watching a documentary where like they interviewed multiple rappers who were pretty much like, dude, 50 Cent said he was invited to a party one time and then like walked in and like into a room of like a bunch of naked rappers all spooning and like sharing drinks and stuff and was like, There's like you said, Frank, it's been talked about, but it feels like it's coming to the surface now. This is Rap Epstein.
They're all poets. What else are poets?
I know,
that
you're
flowery language gonna do with each other?
It's true. I also just feel in general, and this is just a tale as old as time, but it's like the people that are protesting, like, yo, I wouldn't do that. That's gay shit. Like, literally, it sets off like alarm bells in my head. I'm like, bro, you are gay. Like, why do you care so much?
I forgot who it was. There was a rapper that was like, I have never sucked a dick in my life. And everyone was like,
yeah. It's like, dude, you like, why would you say that unprompted? It's literally that meme, like nobody and me, like, I have never sucked a dick in my life.
Have you seen the who's that guy that's like an absolute moron in football? He's like the white guy.
Travis Kelce?
No, he was like just people were mad at him recently because he was like saying some crazy conspiratorial like Jewish mind wave things on like a podcast.
Was it FrankJavCee? I heard him say.
No,
I heard
it was
Frank
not FrankJavCee. Anyway,
I say a lot of conspiracies on podcasts. I don't know if you know that.
there's this
Just-
football player who gets like accused of being gay constantly, but there's a radio interview with like the words that's like, I just want to say I love women. I love having sex with women. And it's just like, dude,
stop it. Like you're making everybody uncomfortable.
Dude, I went to this guy at work, my boss would take pictures of my ass and also just vocally sounded like gay Kermit the Frog, but he was married with a kid, but everyone in the office was like, this dude's gay. But we were out at dinner one night talking about like chicks or something, but he literally went on this tirade and was like, I just love eating my wife's vagina, like getting in there and like eating her vagina, and it's like, it's so good. And we were all just like, dude,
that's so awkward. Yeah,
please don't
the
do
vibe.
That. I have to also bring this up just because, real quick, Kodak Black, who is actually a rapper that I am a fan of. He's also from South Florida, so I feel like to represent a little bit.
Yeah.
Kodak Black, I have noticed this. I've never seen anybody else mention it before, and it's not so many times, but it's more than any other rapper I can think of. Portrays himself as a baby on album covers. Like he has and I might be forgetting some, but on 3 different occasions he has portrayed himself as a baby, and like in an image, and then he has one of his best projects actually is a mixtape called Project Baby, and so he has technically 4 times where he's either in an image featuring himself as a baby or referring to himself as a baby, and it's a little odd, and sometimes it's his actual face. One of them, it's called Heartbreak Kodak, and he is a Cupid baby. I'm gonna send this in the chat here so you can see it.
Yo, no
there's
kink
another
shaming. No kink shaming.
It's just odd to me. I think it's interesting that nobody has pointed it out. Like nobody in the Kodak Black fandom has pointed out that he's like really interested in looking like a baby.
Is this a baby? Because in technicality, no. Yeah,
it's a cherub angel.
A cherub is a baby.
He looks like a baby. I'm gonna send this one too. Here's another baby, and then and then there's a single that he released. Let me find it. A single called.
Well, that's based off the Biggie Smalls album, right?
That's based off the Biggie Smalls thing, but Biggie Smalls just used a baby. He didn't put his face. He didn't
put his face on a baby.
It's
very Freudian. It feels like very subconscious, like they're trying to say something.
It's odd. There's another one that I can't find now, but it's like something like a song for his mom. It's like it's called like I Love You Mama, and it's like the silhouette of like a woman holding a baby, and the baby has Kodak Black's head on the hair.
What about the Nirvana baby? Nirvana had a baby as their
it's not
swimming baby.
That's the thing. It's not the featuring of the baby. It's the putting your head on a baby.
So they put like Kurt Cobain's head on the baby. That's
that would probably actually have made that album not go as like, viral. Not viral. Wait,
viral back in the day.
Back in the day, if it was Kurt Cobain's head on that album, on that baby, I don't think it would have gone.
Bro, I don't care for Nirvana. I do not care for Nirvana.
What?
I know that's controversial.
Music.
It's too boring and grunge. I'm just
no, dude. I actually felt that way for a while because I actually kind of chalked a lot of it up to butt rock as well. Because it kind of wheeled in that butt rock era. But I gotta say, I was on a road trip recently, and on a whim, I put Nevermind on while I was driving around the car, and I was like, hold up. Is this like actually one of the greatest albums ever made? It's like really top to bottom, really fucking good. That one song, I was like, wow, this is my favorite Nirvana song. That song In Bloom. Holy shit. Bass line on that goes crazy mode, sicko mode. Certified.
Nirvana was like
good
one of my
album.
favorite. That album was like a huge influence. I know all the songs on guitar, like from top to
Really?
bottom. Yeah.
Oh, dude, hell
Because the
yeah.
thing is, like,
No,
Kurt
it's
Cobain
good.
didn't know music theory. He just went by vibes. So if you could feel like
Yeah.
the way it moves, I'm like, okay, it's cool. But like, I really like their loudness to quietness. Also, I read this guy named Chris. I think his name is Christopher Cross. He did like an autobiography on Kurt Cobain where he interviewed like everyone that ever knew him, from his like roommates to his ex-girlfriends to his family members to like people that he did shows with, and he just interviewed them and made like a chronological lifetime timeline of his stuff. And it was like really interesting to like read up about him, because before I used to like, you know, mystify him like, oh, he's a cool dude. Then afterwards I was like, damn, that guy was a junkie. Like he did some crazy ass shit.
Oh yeah,
Like he talked
he's
about like
crazy.
him and his friend went to like Mexico to smoke meth, and they just like went
Oh my
like,
god.
he was just always going on drug binges, and then like when they became millionaires, it just got even worse.
Of
you know?
course, yeah. I mean, people. There's always like people talking about how like the Red Hot Chili Peppers had like a $2 million budget for like heroin and cocaine, like
That's
when they were like recording. Like
crazy.
all
Yeah,
of
and they
these
were
guys are
like fun
nuts.
too. That's what it like. I've been watching, like, I love the past, so I've been watching like a bunch of like old MTV stuff. And
Oh
Red Hot
yeah,
Chili Peppers, they were crazy. They were just doing like crazy
yeah.
stuff, but they were all like tweaking. That's one of the things I think we like lack in society nowadays, is no one's like really tweaking anymore, like publicly. Because as soon as you
No,
start
it's
tweaking, people
I'm
are
true.
like,
tweaking,
"What?
brother. I'm tweaking.
It's
Let's
true. Well,
go."
the other thing is that I think I don't know if it's just a trend in drugs, but it feels like the druggy musicians that we think of, it also goes hand in hand with the type of music that's popular now. But if you think of like druggy musicians now, like these rappers that are like Future, that is like, you know, lean, like drinking lean, and like
Yeah, they're
Lil
all
Peep,
downers.
they're all downers. So you're not tweaking, you're like really, you're like garbled and like slow moving, and but you're not
Yeah.
on stage going
Is
nuts
that
like some
why
of these other
mumble
guys.
rap has formed?
Well,
Would
mumble
Mum,
that
rap's already
be?
dead.
mumble rap's out the
Yeah, I
door.
feel like
Yeah,
it's
no one's even
Yeah.
doing that anymore,
Yo,
right?
What's the newest
my
genre?
dear mother has called me. Let me just make sure everything's
Okay,
okay.
no
Oh,
problem.
okay, make sure everything's okay. What is the newest genre? I would
Well, it's all
say
algorithm wave.
it is. Well, I would say we're on a YouTube wave right now. I'm actually finding that like a lot of the music that I'm listening to is through just YouTube. Like
Yeah, it's
now,
like discoverability. So like TikTok is a big discoverability, YouTube's discoverability. Like I got big through YouTube. It was just because like if
yeah,
you have the right key terms, people are looking it up. Right now, like mine is nothing but like long ass mixes. So it'd be like music to chill out to, or like music to, you know, music to do something to. So that's what I've been
yeah,
finding on YouTube. And a lot of it is just like I really like upbeat music, so that's why I DJ a lot of that stuff. But like when it comes to new genres, I think Spotify's been making up genres. Like I get a playlist every so often,
really.
and it's like, check out this thing. It's like, what was it? It was like Thursday night fierceness, and like I was going through it, and it was nothing but female rappers and like some unknown female rappers too. And then they'll have
Dude.
like Wednesday workout EDM, and like
Oh
that's how I've been
well,
finding stuff. Yeah.
yeah, on YouTube, I feel like it's even more like bizarre and atomized. Like some of the genres or the videos that'll get fed to me, it'll be like a 4 hour video. There's one that's been in my recommended that I haven't even watched that for like a year now. It's like Brazilian Doomer core to be Sigma 2, basically. And it's like,
Oh
and I'm
yeah, I
like,
love
what
that
even
Sigma wave. It's
what
like
is this shit? Yeah, it's awesome, but like,
it feels Gen Alpha, like, you know, like Zoomers are already like turning into adults, but like the ones that are like still
yes.
teenagers, they're all about like there's actually like a huge cultural divide where like apparently like the newer generation is getting more like Sigma eyes, so like they're getting like
Yeah.
really weird traditional conservative values, but like it reflects in their music. So like funk was like really huge during quarantine, and now like there's funk edits
Yeah.
where it's like be a man.
Dude, well, you were the one that put me onto the Brazilian, like what was that, where they're
Yeah,
blowing
Brazilian
out, like,
funk where it's like
is that, yeah. Yeah,
yeah, I love that shit.
it's like almost off rhythm in a way, but it actually, like, you're just like, whoa, this kind of moves, like, even though it like
Yeah.
doesn't really make sense. It feels like the next like evil of this generation almost, but
Yeah,
it's like
I like when things
powerful.
break the musical like theory, or break like, you know, what we understand as music, and then
Yes.
like it becomes cool. But like that's the type of music where if you showed someone that 30 years ago, they'd be like, that sounds like noise, that doesn't sound like anything. Because music
Yeah.
is always about context. We have to understand like where we came from and where we're going. So that's how we know like everyone everything you're consuming right now builds your taste. So that's why the future of music is just everything that's come before it.
Do you think that like vaporwave was a flash in the pan, especially because you had a lot of your like Simpsons wave, you came up making some vaporwave, but you don't make vaporwave music anymore. That's kind of out the door for your
Well,
like
I just
style
do
now, right?
everything. Yeah, I just do everything.
Yeah,
To
but
me, it's like a
your stuff is a
culture. It's
lot
like
more
furries.
lively. Like
Yeah.
furries, you think it's still so it's still there.
Yeah, so like vaporwave is more of like a internet genre than I would say a music genre, because the way I've interacted with it is there's like vaporwave visuals, there's vaporwave music, there's vaporwave like I even read a couple of vaporwave books. Like there's been like narratives about it and stuff. So like vaporwave to me is more like internet genre like furries. You know, like furries is like its
Yeah.
own encapsulated thing where it just has like a thing about it. But vaporwave's also evolving where now everyone's in the 2000s. So like everyone's releasing like breakbeat, like drum and bass, trance music, and that's like what's popping on that scene right now. Is like a lot of kids that were born in the 2000s are recreating what it's like to be in the 2000s, and that's why there's like a lot of emo stuff is like coming back again, but like this weird kind of like scene MySpace era where they're trying to like pretend what it was like to be on MySpace days. Like I remember when I was a teen, I wanted to be like in the 90s. I really like early grunge stuff, and that's what I wanted to emulate. But now people are like emulating this stuff in my background.
Yeah, it is interesting. I think like you know what, I have to say something about vaporwave because I do follow some vaporwave like artists or musicians or pages. I have a critique of the vaporwave genre and culture that this is constructive criticism, okay? You guys, vaporwave artists, I love that you're holding the fort and you're continuing to make music in this style. It's cool, it's interesting. I like listening to it sometimes. You guys have got to stop advertising your material, marketing it in a way that looks like a crypto scam, because like I like a lot of the like album art and stuff literally just looks like do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it looks like AI
It looks
generated.
like AI, but like really like too clean and sanitary, and like in a way that it's like I know that's the vibe they're going for, but I almost instinctively block pages because I think that it's a crypto AI thing, and then I
Yeah.
read it and I'm like, oh, this is somebody's album release. You know what I mean? But it's like the art just looks
What
like
makes
that.
something look authentic to you? Because I think we're gonna come to a time where AI art is gonna be mass produced, and like authentic art's gonna be the minority.
You're back on the crispy mic. You're back on the
God,
crispy mic. Fix it.
uh,
Fix it, baby.
fix that microphone.
Yo, I think we should, because I have some questions about vaporwave, but I have an even bigger question. But
Wait, but I gotta answer the question that Frank just delivered to
Check.
us, though.
oh,
Oh,
good.
How do I
now
sound
you
now?
You
sound
sound
good.
good.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
just
time to
let me
get
know and
you.
I'll keep doing that.
I think we got to get you a new microphone, buddy.
Yeah, I'll get something.
This one sounds like you boiled it in hot oil before you hopped on with
Yeah,
us.
I've been doing a lot of stuff to my equipment.
Wait, what was your question again, though, Frank? You asked something that
Oh
was
yeah, in the future with AI art being so like prevalent and mainstream, what makes something authentic to you where it's like,
Oh,
oh, I know this is done by hand?
I think that there has to be a like motivation behind it, because I don't think AI necessarily symbolizes like the like a lack of authenticity in work, because there's a ton of work that people do draw by hand or digitally, but that they're actually drawing that is extremely inauthentic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just because a human procures it doesn't mean that it's authentic. You might be able to critique it in an ironic or roundabout way. Like I'm trying to think, like you know what I mean? But like we see this problem, I think, with a ton of you know, I mean, to kind of keep it in our sphere, there's a lot of webcomic artists that I think are like phoning it in, just like there's
Yeah.
musicians that are phoning it in. It's any type of art form is going to have these people that are just like emulating an aesthetic that they feel like this is what sells, but they're not in it. And it's like I think a lot of people can look at it and be like, this is fake. The normal crowd, the middle of the bell curve, might look at it, and if it fits a certain bill, they'll go along with it and it won't be a problem. But if there's not that like uh it's just like an I don't know if it's an intangible thing, but it must be tangible because there's a way to detect it, but I don't know how to like articulate it
To me, it's just
properly.
like a feeling. Like if you get a vibe, you get a vibe. Because at the end of the day, like a lot of it is just how it makes you feel.
Yeah, and I think a lot of I think what's annoying about that, although because I agree with you, but what's aggravating about it is that I think that that is the like point of argument that a lot of the pro AI tech bros try to use, that they're just like, they're just saying like, exactly, there's not actually any reason why AI can't generate something that's, you know what I mean, that doesn't produce
Yeah.
a feeling. Your feeling is not, you know what I mean, facts don't care about your feelings or
Like, have you
whatever. And
seen
it's
the
like,
AI girlfriends?
yeah, the AI girlfriends. What are
Yeah, I
you guys
always
gonna
think
get
like
into that?
I don't know. Like I feel like my taste is very distinct, and AI cannot generate that. It's only God given.
Yeah,
A
it's a
20
vibe.
foot tall Brian Griffin with
No,
inflatable
not about that. I
capabilities.
mean, it
Exactly.
would be fun to be completely engulfed in their mouth and like rolled around,
Yes,
But
That would
that's
be
all
cool.
just
of
a
course, of
rebirthing
course.
fantasy when you really think about that.
Oh,
That's just
that's
what it was like to
interesting.
be born.
You're a phoenix, you're
I
saying.
could
You're
see
a
that.
beautiful
Yeah.
phoenix.
Yeah. You know
Yo,
what's funny? My are you good?
no, yeah.
Oh
Uh,
no, originally my mom wanted to name me Phoenix, but then my dad was like, "Oh no, they're gonna beat him up."
Really?
Yeah.
That was actually probably quite shrewd of your dad to predict that
He
they
was
should
looking
I
not
out for
name
know.
you
you, bro.
Phoenix.
He was looking out for you,
Yeah, that
dude.
was actually a
Yeah.
good
That's
call,
kind
I
of good.
think.
Dude, before I got a big question we should move into, but I do have one leftover drink from last night I need to get rid of, so I think we should move into the spicier portion, the
Okay.
Oh,
perhaps the
okay.
Patreon portion. But before that, I was curious, was Vaporwave technically started by that Saint Pepsi album, or was
That's
it
just a
already
part of it.
that was a part
Like,
of it?
yeah,
Okay.
so someone once said Vaporwave started in like 2010s on Facebook because someone was like, "Oh, this new genre reminds me of vaporware," which is like products that were like being shown that never came out. So it had like this weird ephemeral feeling. So that's where the genre started. But there's like different variations of it. It's mostly an internet-based subgenre.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that actually I thought it was Macintosh Plus was kind of the first like
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I that's kind of the one that I associate as the first time that like maybe I don't rah actually was the first time that I like recognized a name that followed me on Twitter, which was
Yes, I
crazy.
remember
She
this.
followed me
Yes.
after I posted my Peter Griffin like remix of her album cover,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. I remember that
And
one.
which was a while ago now, and she retweeted it and then like followed me, and we exchanged a couple messages but haven't really talked since then. But it
We
was like
collabed in 2016.
Oh, that's
really
Yeah, we
cool as
made a
super
hell.
thing called
talented.
Rest in Peace Simpson Wave because everyone was like Simpson Wave went mainstream in 2016,
Wow.
so we made a thing sampling like Mac DeMarco music.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's so cool.
awesome. But yeah, that's the first time that I like remember I was on 4chan and I saw that album being like posted and being like, okay, what is this? I got to hear what this is. And being in my like college dorm room and listening to it and just being like, dude, what is this shit? This is crazy. I actually did enjoy it. I was vibing out to it, so to speak.
Yeah, I
And
was into Vaporwave for a while.
Vaporwave's cool. I think like it did mark a new like I think it did bleed into mainstream, not just on the internet, but in terms of like what was becoming more popular. Like, because you got to think like the really big shit on the radio at that time was kind of also electronic music. It's funny, my girlfriend and I were just out to dinner last night, and we were at like a sports bar, and they were playing like it literally felt like a 2014 EDM playlist, like super loud while we were in there. And we were kind of just remarking that it's like so funny that there is no music that sounds like this anymore. Like it was every song in 2014 was this just like, and tonight's the night, and it would just be like some like
Yeah,
crazy shit. And like it was every single song on the radio was like that. And then it just, I don't know what happened. Somewhere in like 2015, it just completely stopped. And then now we're in an era that's like this like soft disco shit is like kind of in right now. And it's interesting to just see that's where we came from. But I feel like Vaporwave was an interesting response to, because they're both electronic styles of music, but it was an interesting response to the type of electronic music that was popular at the time, because it was much more like slow and dreamy and vibey and spacey. You know what I mean? It's and I think it
Pop
wheeled that
music
in.
does reflect society, though. Like normally when things are going on in the world, the music will reflect it. So like during like someone recently coined that term of music that you're talking about, like the super EDM stuff, recession house. So it's like during the recession, everyone suddenly was like, let's party, woo, yeah. So all the songs are about a collective we partying, even though at the time nobody could afford anything. And it was like there was like a fundamental shift, and everyone was like kind of like, you know, losing shit. But instead, our music reflects this fantasy that we like to have.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's
I
powerful.
think that is powerful.
Oh,
We lost him.
Harris just died. He'll be back.
What
Oh,
happened?
He's back. He's back.
You're
He's
back.
back.
Oh, yeah, you
All
guys
right. Well,
have frozen
listen.
me.
I'm officially starting.
Oh,
Patreon
cracking one
episode.
open?
But here's
Cold
my big
one?
question. Here's my big question. I told Harris I've been watching a lot of like rap beef videos and shit, and Harris, you kind of brought this up, but I'm curious. You two are more into music than me. You're more, especially Frankie boy. You're very musically inclined. Is rap dying in terms of being the
statistically,
best music?
it's been dying recently, so less people are listening to more rap, like statistically speaking, like over streaming, and more people are listening to country, which is why a lot of people have been being
Really
like, oh, folk and country and stuff. But that may just be because more older people are buying subscription services and streaming now.
That's
So
interesting.
yeah, because Spotify used to be a young demographic for a real long time, because you know, tech people, like it takes them forever to catch up. Like my parents barely started getting on YouTube, and like when they showed me their YouTube stuff, I was like, holy shit, I didn't know there was like old people content. So like they watch like other old people like barbecuing or chilling or just like doing weird stuff that only they would do, and I was like, oh, that's so strange that you have an audience for that now. But like it is like the internet is getting older, like, you know, like the Facebookification of sites are happening that we think are like relatively young, like YouTube or Spotify. So it's like the same, but it's not necessarily dying. It's just that there's more people online listening to other stuff, changing the data.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I think that like I feel that rap has kind of been on the way out for a while, and it was partly like a lot of it was, I think, an issue with the industry. Most likely was like I think they were just pushing some really shitty, like the SoundCloud rap that was really popular for a good almost, it wasn't 10 years, but I feel like SoundCloud rap of like rappers with like pink hair and
Yeah.
that were and just making nonsense lyrics, and like Lil Pump and XXX Tentacion and Tekashi 6ix9ine and a bunch of these sort of, goofballs. Like I do feel that they unironically like stopped the rap momentum in its tracks. Like they got their bag and congrats to them, but I really do feel like we hit a point that I think everybody was kind of just like, okay, guys, party's over. Like, there's just
It's the
nothing.
hair metal. It was the hair metal of rap, where
Yes,
everyone was more about the how it
that's such a
looked.
good comparison.
Yeah.
It's so true. It felt really shallow, and like, and then it was just a string of dudes, including XXX Tentacion and also like Juice World, that of guys literally dying at like 20 years old because they were just on drugs or in trouble. And I seriously think that like this wave of guys, I just totally stopped everything in its tracks, and then there was this shift to people looking for the next thing, and a lot of rap like concepts. I really do like rap music, and a lot of the stuff that I've been listening to recently has not been rap. And then I was actually drawing the other day, and I put on like a playlist of like the type of hip hop that I was really into when I was listening to more of it. Like I really do like the sort of like, do you know Ka, Frank? Do
No, I
you know
haven't
the
heard of
rapper
them.
Ka? Dude, he's so based. He's so good. But he's like really understated. He almost like whispers, but he's got these really fucking smooth beats. And I was listening to it, and it was almost like listening to this type of music that I was listening to in like 2018, and then I kind of
Yeah.
stopped. And then I like just was listening to it a bunch again. It felt like drinking a glass of water when I was extremely parched. Like it just
Yeah,
hit.
yeah.
And I was like, it's unfortunate because it feels a little bit like we've just hit as far as rap can go. Like, I don't know how many more ideas can really be explored in where we're at. I'm sure that there are more ideas that can be explored, but I just haven't heard anything interesting coming out of it for a while now, and that's unfortunate. I don't
You know
know.
what's funny is like I follow a lot of. You go first.
I was just wondering, do you not consider? You must not be a J. Cole head, because don't
No.
people consider like when he drops shit, it's like.
No, I'm not a J. Cole head at all. I really think J. Cole is a perfect example of the type
He's
of
like Hobson, but better dressed.
it's just like it's just that type of you know, I was reading in the Art Spirit, very powerful passage that talks about like there's always a trend, there's always a new trend, and there's going to be people that are spearheading that trend in any art medium that are going to actually be like the mainstays and push things in new directions. But also there's going to be 1,000 times more people that are just the sort of just like charlatans that are just able to recreate that sound without doing anything new or interesting, and the people, the viewers who are not actually looking at it closely will just flock to them and not care about who's doing the authentic thing. And I see J. Cole as somebody who is just totally a trend rider, has never done anything to actually change what rap sounds like or what it's doing, has never put out a song. But he's put out songs that I'm like, this is pretty good. This is kind of a bop. But he's never put out a song that I'm like, yo, this shit hits. Like, I gotta listen to this guy's discography. It's just like total run-of-the-mill elevator music to me.
Well, at the end of the day, it's all just storytelling. You listen to the people that tell the best stories, and like if it has a good beat, like you'll fuck with it. Like I listen to like a lot of music just everywhere. So like when you're saying about like rap and like you feel like it's kind of stagnant, it's probably because there's so much rap music out there. Like if you look at a rap artist, they'll release like 30 songs on an album. And it's like, well, which one am I gonna pick and choose? And sometimes you pick the things you like. Like I listen to like everything. Like I listened to that new Kanye album, the Vultures one. And so like
I didn't listen to it.
I listen to like the whole thing, and I like, well, when there's huge album drops, I'll listen to the whole thing and I'll just like the ones that I like. So like there were like 3 singles on there, but like the one that I think is interesting is the AI use. So like, you know, the Drake Kendrick beef, and like they're all beefing, like everyone's beefing right now. But half of the songs that were getting released were all AI. And it's like it was actually just someone rapping and then putting a Drake skin on their voice saying it was Drake, but it was actually just an AI.
All that was fake?
Yeah, it was all AI.
Wait, all of it? Not all of it.
No, the Drake one was AI. Yeah,
really.
A lot of them are just AI.
What?
And people fell for it. I mean,
yeah, because people are, you know, they'll just see it as like face value.
Where's the
wow, that is crazy. I didn't know. I thought the Drake. Are you sure Drake didn't release a real one?
No, if you listen to it, you could hear artifacts in the voice. Like
No
I have like
way.
an ear for that stuff, and like if it sounds kind of like a low res MP3, it's most likely AI.
Wow, dude. Yeah, wow, I did not know that. I think I listened to that Drake song and was like, yo, he's spitting. This is pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized that it was AI. But
have you seen the SpongeBob raps?
Dude, there's so, bro, my cousin showed me those. Bro, the one that does the Squidward's walking and it's like that's me walking on the pavement. That's my dick in your main, bitch. It goes so fucking hard, dude.
Yeah, and then they got like the music
hard.
videos, like the CGI music videos where they do like Team Fortress.
Crazy.
And they're like fucking
insane.
shooting. They kill fucking Plankton's wife, and then he does like
God.
a ballad about. Bro, those are insane. Like
that's the future of hip hop right there.
Dude, unironically, bro. Like,
I mean, dude, it's funny. It's funny because it's like, I don't know if you guys remember this. I'm sure you do remember this, but Kendrick on his what song was it? I think "Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst." Yeah. And in a few other songs, there's a girl rapping on there, which is just Kendrick putting on like a filter over his voice to sound like a chick.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just him, and it's like, I think it's that one and maybe another song. He does it a few times where he's like, I can't remember it now.
There's a lot of vocal
dude,
effects right now.
Fresh. We need to, bro. I'm convinced if you and me wrote some shorts and, you know, oh, the main characters are female, this is progressive, but then it's just us. It's just us with chick
that is
filters.
Crazy. Yeah,
it would be so. It would be.
But amazing. I remember reading that, or and like after hearing the album, and I'm like, wow, that is fucking crazy. And it's true. There's no woman credited on the album. It's because it's Kendrick putting this voice filter over himself. And which is actually, if you think about it, like especially kind of like interesting and edgy and groundbreaking for the time, because I think that probably could have been seen as kind of like, I don't know, gay, you know what I mean? Like by like some, but it sounds really good and it adds a vibe to the album. And it's like, I mean, even though that's not, he wasn't using the AI that came out, you know, in 2012, he wasn't
he
using
probably
the
just
AI
pitched
that
up
we know on it.
his... Yeah.
That is, in a sense, I mean, he used a computer. It was certainly computerized
Well, I
in
mean,
some
dude, they
way.
do
You know
that
what
for I mean, 50% of the characters on South Park are just pitched up.
Yeah, and like, or even auto tune. I mean, all that stuff is technically, it is artificial intelligence finding the right note for you. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just like, and it's the problem with AI now is that it's just too far gone. Like, it's just that it's too, I think it's becoming way too tempting to just have it do all of the work for you, and then you just lose those little,
But it
I don't
should,
know.
like, you should be. There was that. I don't know if you guys know him. I think his name's James Lee or something, but he's a fantastic animator. But
Mm.
he was asking if anyone knew of any AI that he could use, and all the comments were like, "Fuck you! Like, you have to do it by hand." But it's like, for what he needs is he has to go through frame by frame and like green screen something, and it's like
Yeah.
AI should be
No,
it
that
should
is,
be allowed to do heavy lifting when it's non-creative
I mean,
tasks. Like,
also the latest Spider-Man animated movie that just came out that everyone was, you know, pooping their pants over, and rightfully so. It was
the
amazing.
Spider-Verse one?
Yeah, the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
It came out kind of, I think they are lucky that it came out, I think, like right before this wave of AI discussion, and people drew a hard line in the sand over like where they stand on the issue, because I saw an interview with some of the lead animators and they're showing how they used AI to track the motion of the faces, basically, so that they could kind of, it did like some predictive movement on the face animations that helped the process like along, you know what I mean? And I think when that came out, they're lucky that they released it literally like 2 months before I feel like this huge wave came out, because I think people were like, wow, this is amazing and groundbreaking. But if they released that now, people would be like, fuck you, I will not be watching this movie. You know what I
Well,
mean?
dude,
It's
it's
just,
funny. People turned on them for an entirely different reason after that, because of there was that big thing about the animators were saying they were overworked.
yeah,
But for
there was a
my,
lot of beef for,
didn't they announce
yeah.
that the third movie was delayed indefinitely, or am I retarded?
I
No, I think it should
don't
be
know
coming
about
out.
that.
It is. Okay. I swear I saw something that because of the controversy, it had been like delayed or something, or
I doubt that they delay it very long, because like at the end of the day, money talks. Like they
it's
know that
Yeah.
if,
true,
you know
bro.
what I mean?
It's
Like
yes.
they're going to, if the animators decide like we will not work on this, unfortunately, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It is wrong, but the studio will be like, you know what? Fuck y'all. We're outsourcing it to the Philippines. We
Bro,
don't give a shit about you
is
guys.
it
I'm
bro,
telling
Let's
you.
go.
is it
That's
wrong?
what'll
Like,
happen.
okay, bro, you and me own an animation studio, right, Harris? And
Okay.
then all of our employees just refuse to work. Dude, I would fire them too, bro. I like when
I don't know.
I'm
I don't
trying to
know.
bro. There's no
I
way
know,
you
I know,
wouldn't.
I know it. I
There's no way.
obviously, I know what you're saying. At the end of the day, you're running a business. It's just unfortunate where the real
It is
there's just
it's unfortunate. That's true. It's
it's
unfortunate.
there's a ton of issues in the streaming era. Is just, it's been so catastrophic for everyone. And we're just, and not just animators or
But it really
filmmakers.
shouldn't be. It
It's
shouldn't be.
musicians. Everybody is getting fucked over by streaming, and it's just like, there's just no going back from
Wait,
it
what do you?
because it's
How are
too
they getting?
convenient.
What do you mean they're getting fucked over by streaming?
People are getting paid less, and and this cycle of content is expected to be
Yeah,
faster. Like
but
you're
it
expected to
Yeah.
make more.
they shouldn't be getting fucked over, because there is like we're living in a time where more humans on Earth are like have access to the internet and are watching content. Like
Hmm.
I think that has to all come down to just like CEO shit, right? Like bad contracts, underpay. Like, I don't think or do you think the streaming model itself is what's causing the problems?
It's probably both. I'm sure it's a mixture of things.
I think it's the streaming services, because the way we consume content now is, before it was like a movie comes out and it's like you see how many movies did you see in the 90s, you know? But now it's like there's hundreds of thousands of movies coming out every year.
But
it's like you have to compete against it.
Wouldn't that be
it's good for creativity, but like for the
Yeah.
creator itself, you have to compete against so many more people now. Also, I want to do this thing. Let me know if it works.
You're getting slightly crispy, but it's not terrible.
Slightly warbly.
That what?
Now I cannot hear anything.
You
Wait, now I'm
like
hearing
a chick for a half second.
I barely hear it.
Now I can't.
Okay,
hear
it's working.